they just are on this roll 6 games straight after kind of scaring Celtics Nation with that 0-2 start. They absolutely steamrolled Sacramento last night. Kyrie Irving looking very confident, and young players, Tatum and Brown, looking really strong. The media had a press conference with Gordon Hayward. His timeline to return, not looking hopeful for this season.
Right.
How does this team function? Is it finding its identity now without Hayward?
I think it really is. I mean, and it's kind of fun to watch. You know, I mean, obviously it would be better to watch if Hayward was in the mix of that because he would be a main component of that. But I think they are sort of, you know, forming an identity. And you see that over the course of these last few games, and especially I think on the defensive end where, you know, they're playing just so hard and they're keeping teams under 100. I think it's 3 in a row or something like that in this winning streak. They're moving the ball really well. And they have those types of guys. I mean, Horford is a great catalyst for that, but he's also a great catalyst on the defensive end, as is Jaylen Brown, his effort. And Kyrie Irving is playing really pretty solid defense. You know, Hayward said, you know, don't expect him back, and I don't think anybody really does. But you know, it's still shaping up as a really interesting season for them. Now, you know, they weren't playing the hardest teams, and I mean, San Antonio came in here. They were missing Kawhi Leonard, and Tony Parker was out, and Manu Ginobili didn't play. But you know, they go Friday night will be interesting. They go to Oklahoma City, and that'll be a good game.
Test.
Yeah, that'll be a
test.
Yep.
We heard at the end of last week about this disabled player exception. As we're looking now, we're only in November. There's a couple months to kind of figure this out. If they're going to use it, how they're going to use it. Do you think that that's a gamble worth taking, or is it one of those things where if the chemistry is proving itself, do you really want to throw another big player into the mix?
Yeah, it's the thing. I just don't know how big of a player they can get. You know, whether it's going to be a player that's really worth, like you said, mixing into that chemistry at a later date. I think they're pretty happy to see how this thing materializes the way it is now. That exception is $8.4 million. It's got to be a guy that is in his final year of his contract if they make a trade for him. The names aren't great. You know, it doesn't really sort of scream out impact player. But, you know, I think they have until March to do it. And if by that time they see a certain deficiency on their team and a player that could fill that in the rotation, I mean, they're not going to do it if the guy's not going to play.
Right.
But then at that point, I think maybe, you know, it would be an option for them.